Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing an update on all my indoor carnivorous plants. They are all doing extremely well, so that's something I have to report that's good. I was hoping to do some more stuff these past couple months. It just didn't really work out. I just never really got around to making any videos, but now I'm going to start making some more. I was going to do another update video on all my temperate plants, but it got pretty cold out pretty fast because it's the mountains of North Carolina, so it just kind of does that. So they're all dormant right now, or becoming dormant, and I've put them all in a protected area. If anyone wants to see how I dormatize my plants or whatever, let me know and I'll do a video on that. It's pretty interesting. There's definitely we live in a very rocky area, so it's a little bit harder, but I've found some interesting ways to do it. So if anybody would like to know about that, definitely let me know. But okay, let's just start out with the terrarium. First up, Dressera Slackeye. As always, looking amazing. This is my favorite rosetted sundew by far. 100%. Can never convince me otherwise. Maybe you could, I don't know, but this is a really, really nice plant. I love it a lot. It's definitely getting taller. Definitely getting a little bit of a scrambling stem there. Not really scrambling, but it's getting a stem a little bit. But it's pretty old plant. It's doing good. I was hoping to put off a couple offshoots. I've tried some leaf cuttings. It just hasn't been working out, but I'm sure I'll get around to propagating a little more successfully later. Here is Dressera Pacella pink flower form. It is doing exceptionally well. Also, these are pretty old. They're over 2 years old, and that's pretty up there in age for Pygmy Sundews. They're considered like kind of annuals, but they can live for longer than that for sure. But annuals in the wild at least. So yeah, they're doing pretty good. I have a nice carpet of Utricularia biscomata. Those are all the little leaves on there. It's really cool. I like the effect that has. I'm sorry if everything's a little bit washed out and yellow looking. I had an overhead shop light LED that I'd turn on for the videos and I'd turn off the grow lights, but now it's just the grow lights, so it could look a little bit weird. We'll see. It could be like a little bit yellowy. Anyway, here's some dwarf red sphagnum moss. I don't know the species exactly. This is what it was given to me as, but it's in the back of this terrarium, growing back there. It's a really good top dressing, and it really looks beautiful. It's like super duper red. It's pretty ridiculous. Now, on to this. This is the mystery Pygmy Sundew. I still really don't know what it is. I thought I knew what it was, but I don't think that's what it is anymore. It's a hybrid, I think. It's definitely not a species. It's a hybrid. But it's doing really well. It's pretty large. I mean, there's my finger for comparison. So it's like, you know, it's big for a Pygmy Sundew. It's not necessarily big for a Sundew, but it's pretty big for a Pygmy Sundew. It has a flower spike up now. This thing's always flowering, but that is not currently. Well, it's got some more coming, but it's not currently in bloom because they're more of the middle of the day and it's kind of afternoon right now. And then here's Dressera Scorpioides, looking good as always. Definitely my favorite Pygmy Sundew. I'm gonna try to propagate these guys this summer, but they're doing really well. I think I got these guys from California Carnivores, and I think it's the other form. They have it's a form that grows slower and lasts longer, and these haven't grown much since they've grown much, but they haven't grown very tall since I've gotten them. So I believe it is that form. So they'll probably be around for a while. I think they're supposed to live like 7-8 years, which is pretty ridiculous for a Pygmy Sundew. And then next up is Dressera Madagascar ariensis, and you may be thinking, where is the plant? Well, that is the plant. It's just all the way up here now. It grew a lot. It's got very tall since the last time you saw it. It was just a little tiny thing. I knew it was a scrambling species. I didn't expect it to do it that fast. It just kind of took off, but it's doing really well. It's very tall now. It's leaning on the ID tag for the Dressera Scorpioides, but it is doing great. It has not flowered yet, but it's definitely doing well. I really love this plant. It's very, very rapid growing and just very beautiful. I like how the kind of older leaves kind of turn red. It kind of reminds me of Intermedia, but just like cooler, I guess. I like Intermedia. I like Dressera Intermedia, but yeah, that's doing really well. Not much else to say about that. And there's Capensis back there. Nothing to say about Capensis. I have a lot of other Capensises, but this is like my display Capensis, I guess. Just typical. Dressera galensis or galensis. It has definitely put on some size since the last time anyone saw this plant. Okay, focus. Yeah, but it is pretty nice. I like this plant a lot. I think it's quite beautiful. It is very red. And its leaves curl up really nicely too. There's a good shot of that leaf. I just fed it not too long ago. But yeah, it's doing really well. It's getting a little colder out, so I think it's a little bit happier, but it's always kind of coldish here. And then all the way back here, I'm not even sure if I can get it in one frame. Hold up. Yeah, that monster back there is Dressera asparalis. The last time you guys saw this, it was not the monster it is today. Its leaves are approaching maybe a foot tall. They come out at the top, but it is a large plant. It is definitely a large plant. It's really cool. It's just like a filiformis on steroids. Let's see if I can get it focused. Oh, the light's weird. Yeah, there's the leaf. It is. I really love this plant. If you can ever get your hands on a asparalis, I'd definitely recommend it. I could do like a care guide on this plant separately because I think some people have trouble with it. I found that the most successful thing for me is growing it in sphagnum moss. I have live top dressing and then dead sphagnum moss with, it's like 1 part perlite to 10 part sphagnum moss. There's not a lot of perlite in there. It's pretty pure moss, but it's doing really well. Even during the summer, it did pretty well. And it's not as hot here. We do have temperature drops, but we don't have crazy temperature drops, so it does pretty well. Okay, so that is it for that. Now over here, gonna move the tripod. Pinguicula Primophora is doing well. Yep. Yeah, it's got some pretty decent sized leaves on it. Finger in there for comparison. But it's definitely doing well. It hasn't flowered for me yet, and I've had it for a while, so it's a little bit disappointing. But you know, it is what it is. It's doing good though. It's kind of a little bit confused. It's kind of off seasons, but it's doing good. Dressera Hybridia Butterfly Valley. Yes, it is a temper Dressera growing in November, and that is my fault because I took it inside early to see what would happen, and it started growing, and now its dormancy grow period cycle is messed up, so it's dormant during the summer and grows during the winter. I don't know if that's a common thing to occur if you do that, but I probably shouldn't have messed with it in the first place. But anyway, it doesn't look that great right now. It's just not super healthy, but there's a lot of Hybrinacula in there. You really can't see. They're kind of covered by moss. Okay, and then back over here, open this up. This is just a big bag of Dressera spatulata. This is white flower form, so I think it's Fraser Island maybe? I'm not really sure. There's a bunch of them in there. They're doing really well. I don't know why I have them in a bag. I should probably move them out of the bag, but they had aphids once upon a time, so I kept them in a bag to like quarantine them, and they just did really well in the bag, so I never took them out. I'm going to close the bag. And then another bag plant over here, there's a little bamboo, get that out of the way, is Helium minor. Yes, I've had this plant for 6 years. I've had this plant for 6 years and it still has not put an adult picture up. It does pretty well. It gets a temperature drop at night. It stays humid. A lot of sphagnum moss in there. But it just doesn't like me. And that's okay, I guess. You know, whatever. But it's alive, so that's really all that matters to me. But it would be nice if it like looked nice. And then the Vanakosa. There's one I bought from Lowe's. It's starting to put out some intermediate pictures on the longer stem. It doesn't have any great pictures right now. I mean, this is a pretty nice picture. Yeah, it's nice. Looks decent. What else? Pinguicula Primophora. I have one back here, just in a pot with some sphagnum. It's doing well. Doesn't really ever do anything. It's kind of been this size forever. But it's a pretty old one. I mean, I've had this one for 2 years as well, and that's kind of like supposed to be more of like an annually sort of plant. Bainata multifila extrema. It's a monster. It always has been and it always will be. It's doing pretty great. These aren't the biggest leaves I've ever put out. There's like a little bit of a size comparison. You know, it's decent. That's a newer leaf. Here's a bigger leaf. It's just like a mess of sticky leaves. It's great. Love this plant a lot. Can't go wrong with a good Dressera Bainata multifila extrema. It's about as good as it gets. And then, back over this way. Oh man. I should have thought this through better. There is the Era Ordinance by Dressera. Hold up. We're gonna take this thing off the tripod. Oh, come over here and show you it from the top. Because I have some saran wrap over the top. Okay, there it is. Yep, you can kind of see it. Okay, this isn't really working out super well, but it's in there. It's doing really well. At the current time, it says it's, what, 84 in the tank, so usually that's right around where I try to keep it at. I did keep it hotter for a while, but I kind of stopped doing that because I think it was a little bit unnecessary. But it stays between 79 and like 90 in here. So that's nice. I was hoping to get some more of these guys this summer, it just never worked out. More Petiolorus complex, but just didn't work out. Yeah, here's the lights. I also use tin foil on top of the lights to avoid blinding myself and keeping some more lights down with plants. But yeah, that's the tour. Everything's doing really well. I'm hoping to expand my collection more this winter, but I'm always hoping to expand my collection more. So hopefully that will actually work out. And yeah, I will try to do videos more often now, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching, and subscribe if you like the channel, I guess.